Hi, favored ones. Welcome to Soul Talk. Our guest for today is Bea De Ocampo. And this lady, oh gosh, I didn't prepare an introduction, so I'm going impromptu. And this lady is very, very inspirational. When I returned sa PhD, she's one of the few classmates who really was very, very open and was really very helpful in my journey. And I really learned a lot from her. She's very, very conscientious as well. And because for this month, I decided to gain inspiration from students and graduates of PhD and BBA. I invited her here in Soul Talk so that, you know, you'd also get to know what's behind a student of PA. Kung ano yung nangyayari. Hindi naman puro research at aral lang. Meron pa rin naman buhay ang pagiging estudyante. Yun. So let's all welcome Bea. I'm so happy to have you here. How are you?
Thanks for inviting me, Michelle. Tama ka, there's life beyond doctoral studies.
I
Madami
know.
pa siya. Although, may mga professors na they act as if wala kang ibang buhay kundi yung doctorate. O di ba, nag-grant na ba ako agad?
Di naman. That's also true. I also noticed that na parang okay, it seems like yung pag-graduate, that's the end of it. Parang hindi naman ganun yun eh, di ba? It should be a stepping stone towards something bigger so that we could also serve. But of course, let's talk about you. How are you right now? Alam ko super busy ka and all. Why don't you share where you pour most of your energy?
Yes. So, thanks for asking me to join you here and talk about what keeps me busy. So, actually ngayon, medyo nakakahinga-hinga na ako kasi I finished all my ACADS sa DBA. So, preparing for written comprehensive exam and then there's a dissertation after that. But what really keeps me busier, even during the doctoral studies, is really ministry. No, my ministry work is more on accompanying young people. So usually, meron akong mga bata na ina-accompany, maliliit na bata. Every Sunday, I go to their place, yung sa mga depressed areas. Tapos yan, I teach about the faith and about life, no? My objective has always been na sana makapagpayaman ako ng mahirap, no? Kahit start with the small kids, no? Yung mindsetting nila, no? It's not all about jowa lang, and it's really education that is really uplifting, uh, very poor people into becoming very rich people. Because I graduated from Manila Science High School and ang dami-dami ko talagang classmates doon. Talagang super poor sila. Meron pang may kwento ako na nagkwento sa akin na bago pumasok, uh, mag magbibenta muna ng mga candy sa mga jeep, etc. Nakalimutan ko na kung sino yun, ano. Pero I have classmates na sobrang hirap. Pero ngayon, wow, no? Nasa na sila. And really, education is really an enabler, no? To be able to. It's not just about being rich, no? So, syempre, binabalance ko siya about the faith, no? Especially, we really have to try to be persevering in everything that we do, but we have to be humble before God, no? Because it's really God who's really the one giving grace for us to be able to do the good things that we ought to do in this life, you know? So parang going back to the meaning of life, medyo ganun lang, pero pinapababaw ko, sobrang babaw. And I I also journey with a lot of mga young adults din, no? Um, yung uh, medyo sensitive yung mga situation nila, no? So I'm just being there kung ano yung kailangan nila. But most of them walang parental figure growing up, no? So doon lumalabas maraming problems, no? Pagka yung guidance growing up is medyo wala, no? Non-existent. So they tend to
Yeah.
depend on themselves, 'di ba? So ganun din kung yung treatment mo sa mga bata, no, teaching them about faith, being humble before God, but also to be persevering, no? Kaya yun. And of course, I'm my mother's caregiver, my elderly mother's caregiver. Kaya hindi lang DBA ang aking ginagawa. But I'm just so happy, no? Kasi tapos na yung aking 3 to 4 hours sleep every day.
My
Kaya
God, how
meron
did you
na ako.
survive that?
I know. Hindi, I take midday naps. Konti-konti, yung tinawag na power naps, yung mga 20 minutes. Pag ayaw nang gumana yung brain, talagang ayaw na niya. Sabi niya, no, stop it. Ganyan. Talagang stop it ako. So, I will take a short nap. Tapos pagising ko, parang yun ang nakakatuwa na yung tinatawag na flash of genius. Yung matagal mong iniisip, tapos hindi mo talaga makuha. Tapos pagising mo, oh, meron na. Talagang nare-refresh yung brain. Kaya ngayon, nakakatulog na ako ng 5 to 6 hours. Yan. So, kaya ayan, less na ang eye bags. Yes. So yun.
A little bit of rest, 'di ba? During this break
Yeah.
time. At least, well,
Uh,
ako, my break. I don't know with you if you're preparing for the WCE during this summer term.
summer term wala akong WCE. Sa first term siya.
Sa first term.
Nag-rest ako. Rest ako tong summer term.
So,
At
it's a
saka,
deliberate decision.
I think hindi rin o-offer itong summer. Kasi most of the full-time professors are, I think, also on vacation. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Pero sa mind ko, wala. First term ako. Yan.
See. Okay.
Makarest na konti.
Oo, ang ganda ng mga ano mo ng mga shinare mo. I didn't realize. I know that you're working, that you're very active in church and working with the youth, but I didn't know that they came from the more low income families, yung mga ganon. Um, but what attracted you besides you mentioned earlier that you studied at Manila Science. But what attracted you to this kind of work? Or can I call it a vocation? Is this describe
Yes.
this as your vocation?
Yes, yes, it's a vocation. Actually, I always tell, especially in front of my mom, sabi ko, ako copycat lang ako. It started with my parents. My parents really brought me to church. So my dad used to be the cantor of the church. So ako kahit hindi maganda masyado yung boses ko, nagka-choir ako, pero alto lang ako. Yun, hanggang ngayon, yan, pumapapel pa rin ako sa church. Sa singing sa choir, tsaka nag-ano rin, director, kung pagkakailangan, actually, I think yun ang role ko sa buhay. Kung saan may kailangan, dun lang ako. Parang gano'n, no? So, um, yung vocation ko is, I'm actually not married by choice. Um, I really wanted to be a sister, a nun. Growing up, no, since bata pa, no, my family talaga is quite religious. And my favorite person in the world, my mentor, is my uncle priest, no? He's a priest who, ah, bakit ba ako talagang na-pull ako kasi during the times that pagka every summer break, kami magpipinsan, kinukuha ng uncle ko to the seminary para mag-work on the admin stuff. Yung mga hindi niya, mga small, small things that could be done by a secretary, kaya lang wala siyang secretary. So, kami mga magpipinsan, kami yung nagagawa nun. So, I was really exposed dun sa work niya. Tapos, aside from that, when I finished college, in between work, pag let's say kaka-resign ko, lilipat ako sa another company, pupunta muna ako doon sa kung saan siya na-assign. Tapos doon, nako lahat ng pwedeng gawin, magagawin ko. Kung ano yung kailangan. So I guess parang naging ganun na yung role ko sa buhay. No? Kung saan may kailangan, yun lang. So I don't actually even have to volunteer myself, yung mag-a-apply ako for this particular work or that, or for particular ministry. Basta dumadating lang siya. When I was in Singapore naman, kasi I worked for a while in Singapore, actually yun yung major, parang pinaka-career ko talaga is I'm an IT practitioner, no? So, when I was working there in a parang big telecoms company, naging, ang work ko, syempre, choir member, so nag-join ako ng choir. But after a while, nakita ko yung call, doon pumunta sa isang center for runaways. Yung mga Pinays na they were abused dun sa place of work nila. They go to this center. This is the center by the embassy. So it essentially, pag nandun sila sa center, they're considered to be on Philippine soil. So they're protected there. May mga cases na yung white slavery, doon ang punta. Yung mga turista na nagkaroon ng trouble, di ba? May isang case nga doon eh. Nagpunta siya sa bar, tapos nalagyan ng drugs yung kanyang drinks. Tapos nahuli siya na merong drugs yung drinks niya. So, doon ang punta, no? So, ang role ko naman doon, kasi katekista naman talaga ako, no? So, I prepare them for the sacraments, for mass, for confession, ganyan. So, walang ibang gumagawa nun. And since nung time na yun, talaga namang wala ring tumutugtog. Ay, di, ayun na naman, nag-aral ako ng guitar, tapos ako na rin tumutugtog. So,
Nakakatuwa naman yun.
kasi pagtaisan nila, di ba? Pagtaisan nila yung tugtog ko. Ngayon dito sa ano namin, yung, kasi I go for mass every day. Okay, part of my personal vocation, no? It was also actually in Singapore that is where I gave up my career, um, my lucrative career in IT, and I entered a Franciscan convent. No? So, nakapag-madre din naman ako. Kaya lang dahil only child ako, at some point in my meditation, talagang pinapalabas ako ni Lord, no? Um, kaya ngayon, I see naman the wisdom of God. Because right now, I really have to take care of my mother. Pero, yun nga, so, yung time naman na yun, parang pinagbigyan lang talaga ako ni Lord kasi gusto mo mag-madre. O sige, ayan. So somehow kasi, yun, siguro part of my development, mga realizations ko, maturation process is learning how to let go, learning how to uh, see what is God's will for your life. And it's not really you planning everything na, okay, ito goal ko. At a certain point, sabi ko nga, actually ang goal ko, certain point, dahil only child nga ako, parang sige, basta hanggang 40, sabi ko, 40 kailangan retired na ako kasi dapat puro ministry na lang. Kaya lang, hindi pala, napobore pala ako ng ganon, na ministry yung gagawin ko. Kaya bumalik ako sa work. So ngayon, it actually works well na I am working kasi at least merong area of satisfaction din, no? Kasi you can grow, you have some uh, areas where you can excel, you can be successful. At the same time, you are able to share that kind of life to the people that you journey with. So, parang ano siya, very practical yung approach na when I journey with people, I give them advice. I am not talking from theory. I am not talking from yung what is dapat ganito, ganito, ganyan, tapos hindi ko naman pala alam. Although, I'm saying this, madami akong ka-journey na may problem din sa marriage. Sabi ko, teka muna, sandali lang. Bakit ako? I'm super single. Bakit kayo pumapunta sa akin sa inyong marital problems? But I guess it's not really I guess pumapalik siya dun sa aking golden thread, no? Kung saan may kailangan, dun ako, pupasok, ano. So, it so
Yeah.
happened na
Ganun
I
na
am,
nga.
gano'n na nga, ano. So it also happened that I am there at that particular place na nangangailangan ng tao ng makikinig. Most of the time naman yung mga may problema. So kailangan lang makikinig to help them process. At sila rin naman nakaka-solve ng problem nila. Yung gano'n ano. So, yun, it really works well for me na nagwo-work ako ngayon. So nagtuturo na ako sa academe. Hindi na, I left na yung corporate world kasi hindi ko na kayang mag-minister sa mother ko na sobrang high stress sa IT. So I am now in the academe. So I'm teaching in 2 universities right now. And somehow it really works kasi yung pagtuturo din is ministry in itself, no? So, in mga problema ng mga students ko, I think some of them, they consider me as a safe place to uh, tell their burdens, no? And if I can help them, I do help them. So, yun. Balik na naman sa golden thread kung saan kailangan doon nandun ako. So, yun. I think that is my vocation. So, I was not really meant by the Lord to be married, especially no, dun sa may mga marital problems. I realized sa sarili ko na hindi ko siya type.
Tawa ko doon. Oh my gosh. You never
Gusto,
know, Bea. You might be called one day.
ah, kasi I actually have personal vows already. So, nung pumasok ako sa pagmamadre, ikasabi ko kay Lord, kahit na hindi ako matuloy, no, I will continue with the vows at ang aking marriage ring or ang aking commitment ring is my offering of giving up chocolates. Biglang ganun, ano. Bakit chocolate? Naku, sobrang addict ko sa chocolate before. Nakakalimutan kong meron akong mga kasama sa bahay, may pinsan ako, may mother ako pag may chocolates.
You don't share.
Inubos ko talaga. At saka there's even one time na kahit nilalagnat ako, pag kumain ako ng, ayoko magsabi ng brand, pero pag kinain ko yung brand na yun, kumagaling ako. Alam mo, hindi ko alam.
Pero grabe yung well, that kind of life is there's a lot of work involved, and I can see the passion and the love that you have for your ministry and the choices that you have done. Where do you get your energy? 'Di ba sabi mo nga a few months back nga parang 3 to 11 hours ba? 2 to 3 hours of sleep
Oh,
every
minsan 2
night.
hours, nakasubok ako na hindi natulog, ganyan.
Oh
So,
my
pero
gosh.
yung normal ko is 3 to 4 hours a day. And kahit na kakatulog ko pa lang, I wake up for 7 a.m. mass, no? For for morning prayers at saka yung meditation, saka morning mass. And that is where I get my energy and my wisdom and my inspiration. Talagang priority ko is the date with the Lord every day. Ganun lang kasimple. Actually, when I went to the US, kasi before I worked in Singapore, I also studied and worked in the US. And I was there, essentially, I was alone, ano, but I never felt alone because of the Eucharist. No? Talagang it's really the relationship that I have with the Lord that keeps me strong and protects me, no? Protects me from uh, bad bad things happening from me, no? Ay, ang dami-dami kong kwento talaga diyan na talagang hindi ko naranasan yung uh, well, the bad things that could happen, especially for a girl in a foreign country. Nako,
Right.
talagang
Oo. Pero, thank you for sharing, ah. That's a personal practice that you have shared, and uh, it's a beautiful practice. Lalo na you have this date with the Lord every day at the start of every day. That's something beautiful, and for you to actually, express it out loud without any kahihiyan or fear. That's amazing. Really, really amazing.
isa pang shameless, sasabihin ko sa'yo, kasi I travel a lot. I'm a very simple person, pero isa lang yung parang masasabi kong luxury ko is really traveling. So, I've been to many places and usually I'm the one who's doing the itinerary. Talagang gusto ko talaga. I really love travel.
Maganda yan, ah.
Mm-mm.
Ikaw ang may hawak kung saan kayo pupunta.
Yeah, yeah. And I also drive abroad because of that, no? Kasi ayoko maaapektuhan yung gusto kong puntahan, gusto kong gawin nung bus, nung grupo, no, nung tour group. So, very important sa pagplano ko is yung hotel dapat walking distance sa church because I have to have my daily date with the Lord. And it has never failed me. Nako, from India to Spain to Italy, kung saan man akong mapunta na place. Nako, ang hirap pagka yung country ay like Indonesia at saka Malaysia kasi Muslim countries siya. Ang hirap
Hindi
maghanap ng
naman sila,
church.
oo, hindi naman sila
Oo, mahirap.
Protestant Catholic like our country.
Yeah. For that, talagang ini-effortan ko siya. And actually, ito yung what I believe in, no? You just tell the Lord what is the desire of your heart. And kung alam naman niya it's for love of Him, He gives it. No?
I
Many,
also
many
believe in
times.
that. I also believe in that. What are the kasi you've gone through so many life experiences and you're happy with all the choices that you've made. In your particular journey, what major transitions or what major transformations has happened in you that you really, really love?
Okay. Actually, medyo na-mention ko na nung start, no? Um, yung humility before God. Nako, especially starting from elementary, yung pag-aaral mo, especially when, alam mo naman, only child ako, tapos when I'm doing well in school, no, I'm always affirmed, ganyan. So, medyo tumalakas yung aking confidence sa sarili ko. Although introverted talaga ako since young, hindi halata, hindi
Yeah,
halata.
hindi halata. Hindi halata. You're an introvert. You
Bas,
ask a lot of questions in class. You're not,
meron ako
ano.
kasing two things. Meron akong two things kasi. I'm into major, yung general ko, I'm introverted, but for two things, I am not. One is, if I'm in search of the truth and of learning, I am not. Yung second is, if I'm doing work for the Lord, definitely I'm super kapal face. Yan. Pero among other things, halimbawa, yung punta sa party, yung kwentuhan, yung kwentong wala lang, I exert extra effort to say anything. Parang gano'n. Kaya nga ang boring kong kasama, lalo na
Pero,
'pag may
paano yung
tsismisan, naku,
paano humility? I mean, it seems to be a humble life naman from the
ako,
beginning.
hindi mayabang ako growing up
Kaya,
kasi nga
really?
oo, kasi yun nga, I can do anything I want. Alam mo yung although siguro hindi ako yung super studious, pero bata pa kasi ako, I read so much, Tas sa dami ng binabasa ko, pina-practice ko siya. I make my own toys. I read a lot of pati nga paranormal things, no? Binabasa ko yan. Tapos I have tried some meditation na medyo gan. Although, dahil sa I was cautioned, no, about um, problems with yung mga transcendental meditation. I was cautioned with that, no? Kasi especially where the soul uh, is involved. So, I tried to find ways in where I can get into meditation while being sure that I am embraced by the Lord. Parang ganun. Kaya ko, alam mo nung high school ako, yung kwarto ko kasi nandoon siya sa afternoon sun. Sobrang init, grabe sobrang init nung kwarto ko. Eh wala naman akong aircon. Alam mo, I can tell you, I can sleep soundly in a very, very warm room because of meditation. Kaya
Oh,
actually, until now, no, I have the gift of sleep. On demand, I can sleep. So that is I think, God's gift to me. Kaya kinakaya ko yung 3 to 4 hours na tulog sa doctoral studies because pag napagod na yung utak ko, kahit hindi ako inaantok, kaya kong matulog to rest my mind and my
Oh,
body.
that's really amazing. Pero ano yung story mo about finding humility? I mean,
Ay, yung finding
saan nag,
humility.
saan nag ano
Nako,
yon?
oo.
Saan
That was nag-umpisa.
yeah. Or what
Nag-umpisa.
ignited that? What ignited that?
Eh, ano yan, kasama sa, sa searching for your vocation, for your meaning in life. So, nag-graduate nga ako, no? Pag-graduate ko, I was actually job hopping from one company to another. Kasi hindi ko mahanap ko anong gusto ko eh. May plano kasi ako, sabi ko, diba, I mentioned at 40, I should retire already. I should be a multimillionaire already by 40. Yun ang sabi ko sa sarili ko. Ang lakas talaga ng confidence ko sa sarili ko, no? Sabi ko kasi basta kaya ko, basta ginusto ko, kaya ko, gagawin ko, no? So, I have moved from one career to the other. Nag-start ako as an engineer. Tapos sabi ko, ay, ayoko dyan. Parang hindi naman ginagamit yung naaral ko sa engineering, ginawa lang ako supervisor. So from that, napunta ako sa R&D kasi sabi ko, ay gusto ko yan, yung parang may pagka-geeky, ganyan. Tapos sabi ko, ay hindi to. Tapos nagpunta ako ng sales. Sabi ko kasi, paano ako makaka-retire ng 40? Paano ako maging millionaire? It's in sales. So nagpunta ako ng sales. So alam mo, nagta-trial and error ako sa buhay. Kasi nga ang yabang
Now,
ko dahil kahit ano, kaya ko.
now I know why you're accompanying people because you've tried a lot of things.
That's true. That's true. At saka yung introverted side ko is helping kasi hin- safe place nila ako, hindi ko ikinikwento sa iba. Pag sinabi nila sa akin, hindi nakakalabas sa ibang tao. So I think that's it. So yun, siguro at some point, na-realize ko, God loves me so much. Kung ano naman ang gusto ko, binibigay naman niya. Kaya lang hindi yun ang para sa akin eh. So hindi siya perfect. And then my heart is, not at peace. Lipat na naman ako sa iba until I found how to be humble before God. Lord, bahala ka na. Ayan, alam mo, gusto ko magmadre. Paano kung isusupport ang parents ko? I'm an only child. Alam mo, from there on, nagdire-diretso siya. So I was guided. I took up my master's in De La Salle. After that, I taught first in another university and then I went to the US. I studied there. Alam mo kung paano, grabe, sobrang daming miracles sa buhay ko. How could I study? I do not come from a rich family. I was able to study in the US. I was able to work in the US. Nakakatawa, no, how I got work in the US, ah. Actually, sabi ko, kahit anong work na lang, basta lang meron akong panggastos, ganyan. But God only gave me IT jobs. And these jobs, they just fell on my lap. Alam mo ba? So sabi ko talaga, kapag yun ang plan ng Diyos sa iyo, things are going to work out well. So, dire-diretso na yan. So, from the US, I went back to Manila. So, I worked in the IT na nga. Tapos, I went to Singapore. That's where I stayed the longest, sa Singapore. Tapos, doon na ako nag-grow yung career ko, etc. Kaya nga, takanta sila. At a certain point, bigla ako nagre-resign.
Yeah, it could be
Nagre-resign!
very surprising, ano?
Ganda ng career mo. Bakit ka magre-resign? Sabi ko, magmamadri ako.
Oh my gosh, what was their reaction when you said that?
Sobrang shock sila. Parang, shit, this lady must be crazy. Kaya lang, there's more to life than money, di ba?
This is in Singapore.
This is in
When you
Singapore.
they're so
Grabe yan.
materialistic pa naman doon.
Oo. Materialistic. Parang siguro hindi naman ako materialistic. Mayabang lang ako sa sarili ko. Pero I've always been a simple person. I've always been simple. Pero in my mind, parang ako yung mayamang tao. Parang ganun.
Yeah.
I don't need so much in life. Parang ganun. Yan.
Oo.
Yun
Yung
ang
mga
yabang ko. Oo.
So it's really bringing yourself,
Yeah,
in
tapos
front of
until
God.
the Lord told me na, "Hoy, ako lang ang kailangan mo, ha? Hindi sarili mo." And, it was when yun nga, sabi ko nga, when I really was humbled before God that things have become, very, very good. Ang ganda talaga ng flow. And I can say that konti lang talaga yung problema ko. Usually yung problema ng mga ka-journey ko. Sumasakit ang ulo ko diyan, nagma-migraine ako, ganyan,
No, you have
minsan.
to learn to let go.
Oo, oo.
Oh, you
Hindi kasi
release yun.
lalo,
You release. Yun yung
yeah,
term.
yun nga, na minsan nakalimutan ko pag nagpanic ako like nung pandemic, nagkasakit yung isang aking ka-journey. Pandemic, yun yung time na maraming namamatay. Eh, ang layo ko. And I have an elderly mother. I will not go there. 'Di ba? I
Yeah.
will not risk. Naku, sobrang stress ko, no? Ang dami kong ginulong tao. Anyway, so, sabi nga, no? If it's for the Lord, God makes a way. Yan. Sasabihin ko na sa'yo, kung dati, ang aking motto ay, if there's a will, there's a way. Kasi nga, ang yabang ko nga, di ba? Lahat kaya ko yan. Ngayon, na Christianize ko na and napunta ako sa Romans 8:28 na, ano nga ba yan? Everything works for good for those who love God and who are made according to His purpose. So, ngayon, pagka let's say hindi nagwo-work out isang bagay, Lord, bahala ka na. This is not mine. This is yours. So, hindi na ako masyadong stress sa buhay. Yun. Kasi wala akong sinasatisfy na dapat masabi ko sa sarili kong matalino ako. Wala nang ganun eh. Actually, ang stupid-stupid ko na nga ngayon eh. And I'm also not scared to sound stupid in front of other people because I know naman that I'm not perfect now. Pero dati, sobrang stress ko dyan, no? Yung perfectionism na yan. I become mean to other people. Lalo na nung nagtuturo ako ng music, no? Sa choir, no? Kasi nawala nga yung spirit, yung aming musical director. O sige, ako na magtuturo sa inyo. Kasi ganun ba lahat kinukuha. Pero I was mean. I was mean to other people kasi pag nakarinig ako ng flat, ng sharp, ay naku, nakakarinig talaga yung choir members. And I really, really regretted. I regret it until now, no? Hindi na ako kasi nakabawi dun sa iba na nasaktan ko because of dapat perfect yung music, no? But
Ay,
that was a
gets kita dyan.
But that was really something na nakatulong talaga sa akin sa turnaround ko. That, you know, sometimes, and this is also what I tell married couples, no? Sometimes it's not important to be right all the time. Sometimes what is more important is the relationship. And then later on, when you have the opportunity to explain, then you can. You can explain. But what is more important is the relationship. Which is, sabi ko nga, that is with people, but of course, the first important thing is the relationship with God.
That's
Ayun.
wonderful. Ano yung mga masasabi mong the top important lesson that you have learned in this, journey, in this life? And where do you see yourself going?
Okay. Sa akin kasi parang wala na akong pangarap. Okay, siguro
Lahat
meron
kay
akong
God na. Lahat God's
parang
will na.
sabihin natin hindi siya pangarap. Like, for example, on the practical stuff, like, inisip ko, yung on the practical stuff, financial management department tayo, di ba? So, in 5 years time, kailangan meron akong enough money to pay cash for an electric car. Yung gano'n. Parang gano'n, kasi ayoko na ng loans, etc. But those are things na pag di binigay ng Lord, okay lang. Like, siguro meron din akong kasi di ba I love travel, right? Parang
Yes.
may isa pa ako sa bucket list ko na parang gusto kong makita yung Aurora Borealis. Kaya lang kasi yung aking mga travel buddies, ayaw ng malamig. Kaya hindi ako makapunta. Eh, mahirap naman kumuha ng travel buddy kasi syempre that entails a lot of money, right? And I'm not gonna go there by myself. Kaya kung hindi man ako makapunta, okay lang din, no? Para sa akin, wala na talaga ako
So you're ano
masasabing
na, you're detached
wala
from
na.
those things. You
Oo,
want it, but you're okay lang sa'yo, detached ka na. Whether you
kaya
get it or not, then it's
correct.
okay.
Oo. Ito namang doctorate, this is a requirement to continue working in the university. So that's why I'm
That's true.
really working hard. Kaya lang, because I know that sabi nga sa Bible, no, when you work, you have to work as if you're working for the Lord. No, so you do things excellently. So that's why I work well for my studies, no. But it is not really a dream, no. Yung parang I'm just going through life. I think as I know um how God wanted me to live my life, the rest of my life up to the end, up to the day I die. Siguro masasabi kong prayer ko kay Lord is that I hope if ever tatanda ako, no, I will not lose any of my faculties. Kasi mamamatay ako, sana hindi ako mag-Alzheimer's or maging PWD. Sorry for that. Kasi I really work sa community, no? Parang I want parang 100% ma-maximize yung whatever I have for the glory of God. So yun, yun lang ang mga ano ko. Siguro personal conviction ko right now, na-mention ko kanina, 'di ba, magpayaman ng mahirap, no? And that is something I'm trying to work at ngayon. Sa dissertation ko is um, for the farmers, tsaka sa mga papers
Yeah.
ko lumalabas for the drivers, yung mga gano'n ano. Pero mind you, 'pag sinabing magpayaman, it is not to give dole outs, no. It's really not to give dole outs because that's the best way to keep them poor, no? Kaya yung mga okay, I should not talk about politics right now, no? Pero talagang puro
Mm.
ayuda. Ang ano, mindset na ayuda is not really helping people, no? It's really education, no? Importante education, no? And it's an enabler. After you have graduated, you can do a lot more things. No? Kaya yung palagi
Ang
sinasabi,
ayuda naman, it's a short-term solution, while the
yeah,
education is long-term solution. So let's
yeah.
hope that the education system would actually hindi lang naman yung education system, even the everyone who's part of it would really, upgrade naman.
Pasensya ka na, parang marami akong mga nasabi yatang tabu ano dito sa
Ah,
pero
di
that shows
naman.
kung ano yung ano yung passion ko, no? So I like to apologize kung meron man akong nasabi, especially na-mention ko dun sa mga PWDs, no? I help a lot of PWDs and a lot of them can contribute a lot to society, no? In many ways, no? Sa akin lang, personal lang siguro, I guess, uh, yun nga nasabi ko 'no, I'm kasi very active and I work with a lot with young kids 'no, and kailangan dun high energy 'di ba?
Oo
Kapagka
naman. Diyos ko,
nasa
pagkasama
bata,
mo yung
Diyos
mga
ko.
bata, talagang all your faculties has to be engaged and moving with them. Ang bilis pa naman nila. Bilis nila.
True,
Pero
true.
sige, to cap it off, what message can you share so that, others could also live their purpose, their mission in life, tapos and still be happy and at peace.
Yeah, well, it's not a new message, but it's really finding how do you find uh your purpose in life, no? To find your purpose in life, first of all, you have to go back to the creator, no? You have to develop that relationship. Hindi one-way relationship, kasi akala ng iba, 'pag nagdadasal naman ako palagi, nagdadasal naman ako, no? At sa umaga, sa gabi, nagdadasal ako. But if it's one way, papunta lang sa taas, you have to, no, try to discern what is God's will for you. And it means that sometimes you really have to keep quiet. You have to find time in a day, no, to keep quiet and really try to commune with God. And for me, the best way for that is really the Eucharist every day. Of course, not everyone can do that, no, but really finding a quiet time with the Lord every day, asking Him, Lord, what is it that you want? Diba relationship ganon? Let's say you have a best friend or you have a husband or a wife, no? You're not only wanting to know what you, parang hindi lang dapat yung gusto ko, susundin mo partner, di ba? Susundin mo friend, di ba? It's both ways, right? So there has to be a listening part of it. So that is part of being in a relationship is the listening part.
So, ang pinaka-important talaga is the close relationship with God. A very deep relationship, actually. Meron talagang listening that's happening on your end as well. That's of course, I super agree to that. Kasi yun din yung ko, my how do I say this? My journey in getting to know myself started with my relationship with God. And I am blessed that it happened in a retreat setting. Yun doon nagsimula lahat-lahat. And I still up to now I know that date, that yung situation, that venue, the questions that we're going through, that's going through my mind during those times. It was a very special time of my life when I met the Lord again at a deeper level. So thank you for sharing that. Um, I personally love your journey. I didn't know that you there was a time that you wanted to be well, of course, up to now you chose to be single on purpose, but I didn't know that you really took the vows and all that. So we learned something new. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome. I know I have an instant connection with you because of this relationship with God thingy. No? Kasi somehow, no, parang nafe-feel natin yung peacefulness ng bawat isa, right? Because when you
Yeah,
have a relationship with God, no, nandun talaga yung peace because you're not worried all the time because you know God is in control. Diba? So, yun.
that's true. That's true. But thank you so much for gracing us with your presence and of course bringing God into our conversation. And of course, for the favored ones, I pray that you also find value in our conversation. And if you're going through something, pray to the Lord and find that deeper relationship with Him so that things would be peaceful and joyful once again. Of course, it's a process, it's a journey. So, but at least start with that, and you would be so surprised with how God would be in your life. So I wish you all well, and remember that you're highly favored and truly blessed. God bless everyone. Take care.